Okay, good morning. Welcome to Ag Talking to Raw, where we talk raw about agriculture and other things in news, ag news and even YouTube news. Okay, so as you know, this is a free channel. I do not receive any money for the work that I do on this channel. I have applied for monetization, so if the channel does well, I'll get paid for it. Which is just the way it works, I mean, most people don't do anything for free, and I am no exception. But I will continue to do this thing for free, even if I am not accepted into the AdSense program on this channel, which I should be because I have met the requirements a very long time ago. I just get the, we're behind and we're reviewing your channel, but we haven't quite got there yet. So, with that being said, last night at about 9 o'clock, my mother calls me up, yes, my mom, and she says, hey, it just made Fox News that Google is, and as you know, YouTube is a subsidiary of Google, has been caught demonetizing conservative channels and people that don't fit their bill on YouTube and other platforms that they own. No surprise to me, but I'm just glad they got caught because you know what? It is bullshit. What's good for the goose should be good for the gander. If you're a conservative, you should have the same rights and voice as liberals. And I'm all for free speech. I mean, I should be able to say what I want on here as long as it's not hateful to minority groups, as long as it's not excessive foul language that nobody really wants to see or hear. I do have a foul mouth, but it's not so bad. I mean, I'm a real person. I talk the real, like real people. I'm not just some schmuck that takes a scrubber to my language. So anyway, we can get right down to it. West for president. That's not happening. I do not want that position. I wouldn't want that position. I would get nowhere because I don't have billions of dollars at my disposal. Someone asked me also, had I watched the President of the United States at the Farm Bureau? No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. Talking heads on podiums don't excite me. Donald Trump has been rather exciting to watch because he's actually doing things that he says he's going to do. I didn't get to watch it, so I don't know what he said, so I don't know what's coming or what has happened or what is going to happen. So I'm sorry. I just don't have that kind of time. I'm busy rebuilding engines, tearing tractors apart, putting them back together. I have four projects right now that are going on simultaneously. As you can see on my other channel, the One Lonely Farmer channel, I'm actually doing the work that I said I'm going to do. There's been so many people that are just so goddamn negative, and I don't understand why, but they can be negative all they want. I will get my projects done. Oh, and I am leaving on February 20th. I will be back on March 10th, but I'm kind of working it so that everybody will have the, there will be an uninterrupted set of videos. I like to be on time with my videos, but this engine overhaul and this transmission teardown on the 4960 will put me so far ahead on videos. I'm going to upload them, so while I'm away, I'll schedule them to be out there so that everyone gets to see them, except for probably this channel. I may do this live, or I may do this one while I'm in Japan. I'm going to Japan for 5 days and Philippines for the remainder of that time. I'm going to try and squeak in Taiwan. Because Taiwan is just a beautiful country and it's really neat to see. So I just want to see the world, if you didn't know. Thanks. I know the headset just did seem to turn out pretty good. I'm just going to try. Better quality control. Okay. I haul Case IH New Holland now, new tractors out of Fargo, North Dakota plant. Racine, Wisconsin. Plenty plant. They need better quality control. Every time I haul them, I find bolts on the trailer deck. I just bag them and put them in the cab and tell the dealer I used to haul their balers out of New Holland, PA. Also, problems with quality control. I used to tighten door latches every time I loaded them. I also hauled John Deere out of Waterloo, Dubuque, Davenport, Ottumwa and Ankeny, Iowa plants, and have never had that happen with them. Well, I mean, I'm not going to disrespect any other equipment manufacturer from this point forward just because I don't own anything that I am unproud of at this point. Krone has been awesome. John Deere, the mowers, they've been awesome. Even my case windrower, the WD2303, that has been really good. I mean, there are a few problems, but this will be the 10th year that I've owned that, believe it or not. It's amazing. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Yeah, it's crazy that I've owned that thing almost 10 years. August it'll be 10 years. That machine is very good. I like it. I like it a lot. But I don't like it as much as I like the John Deere. There are things that I like better about the case than I do the John Deere, but not the John Deere. So quality control is always an issue. I have seen that with Gale. When I bought my Gale mower, there were bolts that weren't tightened and wrong power takeoff shafts. They just didn't get it right from the start. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, yes to everyday ordinary farm thoughts. Investor group corporate farming has changed the game for the individual family farm. 1960s NFO for the family dairy dumping milk interview. Where is one going to get milk? At the store in a carton. Well, it came true. 4 to 6,000 head investor corporate herds in California. All right, so dumping milk anymore, in order to make any impact, it would have to be done by a very large dairy, like that Fair Oak Farms. Fair Oak Farms has 30,000 cows. If they were to dump milk for one day, that would be a huge impact. I mean, we're looking at 270,000 gallons of milk in a day. If they were to dump all that milk in one day, or even just withhold it and produce cheese, yeah, cheese prices are going to take a hit, but if 1,000 dairies that were the size, 1,060 cow dairies were to dump for one day across the United States, that would be great. That would bump prices up, but people like Fair Oak Farms, they would make up the difference somewhere else. They would just put on more cows and squeeze out the little guy after the dust had settled from something like that. So dumping milk is not going to happen. I am not a supporter of large dairy. Someone had sent a link to Fair Oak Farms, and I watched it. And when I got done watching it, I thought to myself, okay, so we got 30,000 cows, and I know I'm on dairy again, but it's very near and dear to me because I was a dairy farmer for many, many years, and for 36 years of my life, I pulled tits. So that's why I talk about it so often. Fair Oak, those factory farms is what they are. They shouldn't even be called a farm. It should just be called a milk factory. They do everything from processing cheese, yogurt, milk, manure, methane they use to generate electricity. It's a very efficient farm, but there is nothing farm about it. And I feel for the cows. They're never on pasture. They're never outside. They're always inside. Yes, they're probably pretty healthy because there's probably 50 vets that are running around doing their thing with those cows all day, every day. And, you know, that's good. That's good that they're taken care of that way. But the overall life of that cow is very restrictive. They're not out on pasture. They don't ever see the light of day, and a cow needs to see the light of day. I'm sorry. I was always the one that was out fixing the pasture fence. I mean, because cows need to have pasture. It just seems exercise is always good for the animal, not 36 square feet for the animal to roam around in. So yeah, I didn't like that, but okay, let's see. I'm 80 years old. My first tractor was a 70 LPG. I currently farm with a 4010 24020s, and I'm working on a 1954 standard 70 LPG. Love my LP. Yeah, they're good tractors. They actually feel hotter to run, but they have more power. Believe it or not, they have more power than the diesel. They're a bitch to start in cold weather, though. That's why they're mainly down in the south. I could start it. You got to start it with starting fluid, and I never liked doing that. But I think because of the LPG head, it can handle that a little better. Maybe the pistons are slightly different. I'm not sure. I've never had one apart. I only own one, so I don't know much about it. Does my dad watch the videos? Yes, he does. During the California Gold Rush, this is Randy J. And the one, I think, Klondike in Alaska. The Klondike is actually in Canada. Alaska is Alaska. The Klondike is, I think, east of Alaska. The people who sold the things that miners need made more money than many of the actual people who got dirty hands. Think of Levi Strauss as an example. Absolutely. The support staff to an operation generally, in the end, make more money than the guy that owns it. I can attest to that because it's true. I can honestly say, when it's all said and done, the support staff, whether it be the dealer, the equipment dealer, the workers, they all seem to end up with more out of it than me. It's a shame. I end up with the assets of it, but as far as money-wise, the actual cash in your hands, yeah, the support staff ends up with more cash in their hands. I end up with, pieces of equipment and broken bits and pieces, and sometimes you blow an engine and boom, there's $20,000, gone, which they don't have to worry about. Damn right, Wes, dairy is not a moneymaker. Farmers get the short end of the stick in dairy. I agree 100%. And yes, that's just the way it is. As a fellow farmer with poor hearing, your new mic is perfect to listen to. Well, thank you. I try. The way to make money in dairy is with direct market sales. We started selling our own milk in bottles 22 years ago and have never looked back. There is money in dairy if you are able to get away from the federal order price system and be your own middleman. Yes, I could agree to that. Juggers, which we call them juggers here, they did okay, but when they started coming out with the new short-time units and stuff, pasteurization units, and they would go into that, they would go bankrupt too. There were several here in New Jersey, and they're gone. One. Okay, so Teresa's taking orders. She didn't come up. Hey, why don't you do a cameo here? People like to see your pretty face.
No.
Oh, okay. So somebody just sent me a message. Okay, there is a free government program for 16 to 24-year-old people called Job Corps, which I went through and got really good training. There you go. As long as you're off the welfare system and you took advantage of the Job Corps, congratulations. You are one of the few that actually want to go get a job and work for your money. But I've seen tons of YouTube videos where people are celebrating with parties with beer and cake and pizza and all this stuff because they got accepted into permanent disability or welfare. Now, if you are 450 plus pounds and you are disabled because of that weight, the government should say, okay, we're going to give you disability, but we're also going to pay for a nutritionalist, and you got 1 year to get the weight off and become a functional human being. Get on a good diet with good food, good training, good job, goodbye welfare. Goodbye. That's my opinion. The government's doing it all wrong. They're doing it all wrong. I mean, this is for the people, by the people, not the land of the free, give me everything, land of the free, home of the brave. Land of the free has been taken a new meaning since the Democrats have taken over here. But we got Trump now, so things are gonna change. I think. I really do. I believe they are gonna change. I think Trump's slogan shouldn't have been "Make America Great Again," even though it's a great slogan. It's overused. It was used many times in the past, but change should have been Donald Trump's slogan, not Obama salami. Positive change is what Trump should have used. Positive change, not that negative change. We don't need that. You can keep your change. Okay. Hey, Wes, I would be interested in hearing more of the article about manure if you were able to find it. Maybe post a picture of it on your Instagram for those who are interested and want to read it. Okay. That's in a 1955 book. I'll go look them up. I have them. They're at my mom and dad's house actually, and they're They're in a safe that I have there, believe it or not, because I treasure those things. I think welfare should be drug tested. 100% correct. Drug test them. Drug test them. If there's drugs in your system, sorry. Oh, methadone clinics? Another failure on the government's part. People will be on methadone for the rest of their lives if you continue to do that. If you are caught with heroin and you need to go on methadone, that's a great thing to get you off of heroin, but it's also something you need to be weaned off of. You need to be weaned off of the methadone also, because my aunt has friends that live in Philadelphia, and the one woman, she's a woman now, was a girl, got hooked on heroin. Every day, she goes down to the methadone clinic, stands in line, and gets her methadone. Bullshit. Who cares? Some of us are sick of feeding crackheads. Wait a minute. Okay. Look at the results in the states that have done drug testing. Without fail, they spent more money testing than they recovered. In other words, it was a waste of money. I don't think it... I would rather put money into a moral program than an immoral program. Giving drug abusers money so they can buy more drugs, and I think that's wrong. DeGeneres too, I think you're wrong, because we're getting on a drug rant here. Okay, so here you go. You've got people that are on welfare. They're receiving money. They're dealing drugs, doing drugs. They're getting pregnant. They're producing children, whether they're male or female. You're producing children. And those children are born with drug addiction. They're born into a drug-addicted family or a drug-fueled family that is being propped up by the government. This will not end. I care. I think that if you are on drugs, you no longer need welfare. You can go find it. You can live on the street. Do whatever the hell you're going to do. There's no need for hardworking people that know right from wrong. And you know right from wrong if you're a druggie. Know right from wrong, to support people that just don't give a shit, that are sucking off the tits of people like me. My tits are sore. I'm tired of it. So whatever. On to the next. It was so cold this morning, I saw a socialist with his hands in his own pockets. That's funny. That is pretty funny. Oh my God. Oh man. Kirk Jackson, would you ever buy an aerator to pull through your hayfields? I agree with you on your idea for welfare recipients. They should get to ride it when they are more than capable. They shouldn't get to ride it when they're more than capable to work. Jobs are coming back to the United States, so maybe this will change a little bit. I hope I can ask this the right way. Why do you call yourself a farmer now versus when you did do other things besides hay? I would call a true farm someone who does most everything, like cows, pig, grain, dairy, and other stuff. I like your Ag Talk and other channel. That is a viable question. I do not take offense to it. I would like to do hogs, cattle, chickens, soybeans, corn, rye, wheat, barley, alfalfa. But the way it's set up now in the United States of America is that you can't do all that stuff. If you have hogs, you can't have cattle in the state of New Jersey. Swine flu, things like that. Swine fever, whatever the hell it was. Hoof and mouth disease is another one. People, they had them too close to one another back. And it was dairy. Maybe it was dairy and hogs. We did it, but we had them on another section of the farm to avoid the problems that were prevalent back in, say, the 50s and 60s, and which caused those laws to be passed. I do call myself a true farmer because I am feeding people. It doesn't matter whether I'm feeding them soybeans, corn. People don't eat soybeans too much, but animals do. Beef, pork, poultry. I'm feeding vegetarians more than anything. Mushrooms. Veggie burgers made from mushrooms. If you like veggie burgers or mushroom burgers, they're great. They taste good, right? I've had them. They're okay. I produce that. I help to produce that. So I help feed people, which is what a farmer does. I feed myself and others through growing. Just because I'm growing one specific thing doesn't mean that I'm not a farmer. It just means I'm not a traditional farmer. I would rather be a traditional farmer that grew a wide variety of different things. But unfortunately, when I'm taking good money and propping up bad money, it's kind of foolish. So I had to settle on one thing where I'd love to be diversified. Trust me, I would really love to be diversified. I would like to raise beef, and right now it would be a good idea to do it because grain is just hitting the bottom. Beans are still a little bit strong. Wheat's down. Corn is coming down. Beans are going to come down too, but it's coming. So, okay, I'm sure most will think I'm crazy, but when I lived in Fowlerville, Michigan, aka pure farmland, etc., I always liked seeing my neighbor, a dairy farmer, spreading manure out in his fields because anytime we would be outside or have our windows open, we would smell that liquid gold depending on wind direction. LOL, yes, I actually like to smell, but in moderation. It may sound crazy, but to me, it's a clean, earthy scent. LOL. You are correct in stating that. I miss the smell of cow shit. I mean, when I go to Lancaster County, I always said their manure smelled different than ours, and it does. I mean, ours came out of a barn, directly out of the barn. It did not go into a slurry. Was not composted or digested in any way. It went right onto the field, which was okay until the manure management plans came into place back in the early 2000s, and we had to keep a roster as to how we spread, when we spread, how many cows we had, how many chickens we had, how many pigs we had, how many horses we had, and we had to do that. And we still have to do it because there are horses on the farm, and it still has to be done. So it is an earthy smell. People used to complain about us smelling cow shit. It's like, well, would you rather drink the chemicals that wash off the fields when we get a downpour? I don't like paying for stuff, that washes away. But manure, it's an organic, and urea is not. Well, it is organic, but it's not. It's commercially produced, so it's different. Oh, well, thank you. Street Rodder, I have the coolest farming vlog out there. Well, thank you. Here's one. 4-gauge. Wes, do you think you'll ever own an articulated tractor like a 9120 bareback? I can't use a bareback because I need power takeoff. That mic you're using sounds great, but in between the words, the hiss noise is very annoying. You need to adjust the noise attenuator to my computer. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just going to continue the way it is right now because I like annoying people. That's why I have a YouTube channel. Come on, guys. When am I going to replace the case mower? I'm going to run that thing until it really just falls apart. For the most part, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And there's no need for me to go out and spend $170,000 for a new mower right now. Yeah. What are your other two channels? Well, they're minors. One is just my name, there's nothing on it, and the other one is a divorce channel, which some of you may find entertaining, but I haven't posted anything on it in a while, and I probably should, just because I should. So, are you going to take the lift arms off the 7530 and change the rear hitch? I believe I am. It's expensive to do that if you didn't know. It's several $1,000s. Would you consider a wide front on the 4010 when it goes back together, or do you want to keep it all original? I'm keeping it all original because that tractor was the first John Deere tractor to come to the farm in 1963. There was Alice Chalmers and Internationals here before that. If you started farming today from nothing, which tractor would you buy? What I could afford, which probably would be like a 4020. You got to start someplace. You can't start at the top and work your way. You can't start at the top. It just doesn't, pound for pound, you're going to go broke. Will I be going to the National Farm Machinery Show? Probably not, because on the 20th of February, I'm leaving for Japan. And you're going to get I'm going to meet a farmer over there and discuss some of the farming differences in Japan versus the United States. And yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Wes, would you ever come across the Llama Show in the UK? I really, really, truly wanted to go to that this year, but it just didn't happen. I got too much too many projects to be taking too much time off, and because I'm going to be gone from the 20th to the 10th, I'm going to be gone a long time. So, and that's my unwind time. So while I'm unwinding over there, I just can't be putting off projects and then taking off huge amounts of time, because I'd be gone for 10 days. When I go to the UK the next time, I will be going to the Lamma show, hopefully, and I'm going to go for 10 days because I really kind of want to see more of Wales. I really like Wales. I don't know why. It's just beautiful there. Yeah. Alright, so I'm getting down to... Do you still have the color mulcher you made a video about? I gotta shut that off. Anyways, I'm going to end it with that because that's my dad calling and I need to answer that. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other channel if you haven't already. You probably have, but One Lonely Farmer, obviously. One OLF, One Lonely Farmer. And, yeah, I'll see you on, which day? Sunday. I'll see you on Sunday unless I make another one.